So your school is hosting a recruiting event where representatives from the big firms and companies are coming to meet students. You start getting anxiety about not having a job lined up after graduation, so you decide to sign up. The day arrives and you're dressed up in whatever you think business casual is supposed to look like. You enter the room, but then suddenly you're stuck in this analysis paralysis. Who should I talk to first? What do I say? When do I give up my business card? What if I say something awkward? How do I even network? What if I have to fart? What if I smell like fart? That was me at my first networking event, but I won't let the same thing happen to you because I'm going to teach you a few simple tips on how to crush networking events. The first tip is go in with a game plan. Before the event, take some time to think, out of all the companies attending, which are the ones that I want to work for or the ones I want to learn more about? Thinking, I don't care, I just want to get hired. No, not good enough. Having an interest in the company will help you come up with things to talk to recruiters about, but more on that later. You should narrow it down to 2 to 3 companies, and that day only talk to representatives from those companies. Look, you don't have time to make a lasting impression with every single person and company at the event. Also, knowing the companies you plan to talk to will reduce the amount of time wasted at the snack table wondering who you should talk to next. This brings me to the next tip on who you should talk to. Great, you know which companies you want to learn about, but sometimes there are a few reps for that company. These reps are usually split up into 2 groups. The first is the employee, someone who actually works at the company, typically in the position you are trying to apply for, and recruiters, the individuals responsible for actually hiring you and the ones who draw the largest crowds. If you can't find out who's who on LinkedIn, don't worry, they usually have their position proudly placed on their name card. At the end of the day, you want the recruiters to know your name, and you want the employees to have good things to say about you. A common mistake students make is just talking to the recruiters and ignoring the employees. But because recruiters can only talk to so many people, they rely on the employees they bring to get more information on the candidates they like. So what you should do is at the beginning of the event, talk to the employees first. They usually have the smaller crowds of people trying to talk to them, so it's easier to get a conversation in and will get you warmed up for the rest of the day. Make sure to be aware of time because during the last half of the event, you should be talking to the recruiters from each firm. Talking to the recruiters at the end of the event makes you more memorable. They are more likely to remember their conversation with you if it's the last one they have, compared to someone they met in the beginning or in the middle of the session. That's just how our brain works. Okay, cool. You now have a plan. You know who you're going to talk to, when you're going to talk to them, but what the hell are you going to talk about? First thing you could do is just ask them questions. These people love to talk about themselves. Ask them how they got the job, ask them something you learned when you were doing your research, what did they like about the job, what they're looking for when hiring candidates. Asking questions allows you to learn more about the company and the job while also making you look genuinely interested. What should you talk about next? Well, whatever the hell you want. These recruiters are here for you. They want to get to know you better to see if you're a good fit and someone pleasant to work with. Don't be afraid to talk about whatever you're into. What sports you play, what TV shows you watch, what vacation plans you have. You will find out more often than not that you have some things in common with them. A 5-minute conversation about what happened last night on Game of Thrones are the best ones because it's these conversations that really build relationships. So when you email them after the event, they'll recognize your name and remember that you guys had a unique and pleasant conversation. One tip though is please don't ask super technical questions. These people are outside of the office and don't want to talk about the details of their work. This is not the time to flex your accounting knowledge, save that for your exams. Okay, so the next part is the trickiest. How do you politely exit a group without it being awkward? So you're in a group with a recruiter and you look at your watch. Oh yeah, bring a watch because pulling out your phone is just rude. And you realize you need to move on and network with the next company. Do not just evaporate from the group without saying goodbye. You should now be on the lookout for the next immediate break in conversation. If someone decides to say goodbye first, even better, just follow their lead. Once this break happens, strike fast with a Greg the recruiter, it was really great meeting with you. Enjoy your trip to Tasmania and I'll talk to you soon. You can exchange business cards, say goodbye, and go on your way. Now you're free to grab a drink, let out a fart, and move on to the next representative. And that's it. So let's go over those tips again. Number 1, have a plan. Know which companies you want to focus on and try to find out who the recruiters are beforehand. Number 2, talk to the employees first and then end the session off with recruiters. You want to make good lasting impressions with the recruiters and have the employees vouch for you. Number 3, talk about them and then talk about you. The first part shows you're interested in working with them, and the latter shows off your personality and how you stand out. Number 4 is pay attention to time and make sure you say goodbye. It's just a polite thing to do, and they'll remember you for it. It's also a great opportunity to give out your business card. So there you have it, guys. These tips are simple but really effective. I really wish I had them when I started networking, so you already have the leg up. In my next video, I'll talk about what you should do after the networking session. But until then, make sure you subscribe and leave me a comment whether or not these tips helped you or if you have any of your own that you would like to share. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.